Young men, whoever is watching this, hopefully it's you young men out there that are looking for some self help. And hopefully you guys are watching this on a beautiful, well, it's rainy today, but a nice Sunday afternoon. Um, First of all, I want to introduce myself, guys. My name is Robert Ranelli. I'm a personal trainer out in Bucks County. I also own my own business. I work with multiple clientele, six, seven figure clientele that have their own businesses or very successful entrepreneurs or just are retired and looking to get fit. My biggest goal in my life and the thing that I basically do, guys, is I am a personal trainer who trains other business owners and other people that are looking to just be the best version of themselves. And that is mainly my goal and my mission, to be the best version of myself and to help influence other people positively along the way to be the best version of themselves. And I'm based out actually in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, right below Philadelphia. If you guys know where that is, awesome. If not, get a map. But no, I want to thank everyone for watching this, and we're gonna dive in here for the next 10 minutes or so. And my mission every week is just to give you guys some insight on my life and things that I go through, because I think there's a lot of young men out there and a lot of podcasts out there that young men will go to and listen to, which is awesome. I love podcasting. I think it's a great thing. I talk a lot, as you can tell. And I think that I have enough wisdom, at least my friends and family tell me this, enough wisdom, I feel like, to share my experiences and help you guys out. The reason why I'm making this podcast is because I feel like I'm a 23-year-old business owner. I feel like there's no kids my age or people my age, doing the things necessary to kind of grow and learn and adapt and so on and so forth. There's a lot of older guys out there that are podcasting telling us what to do, but I'm someone who's going through the things you guys are going through too. So hey, I feel like another helping hand doesn't hurt. So without further ado, guys, the biggest lesson today for the next 10 minutes I just want to talk about is failure. Everyone, especially younger guys, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Reels, whatever you want to call it, whatever you guys are on social media wise, everyone always hides their successes, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a new job, whether it's I don't know, a car, whatever, all the dumb stuff, right? The things that kind of like mean nothing, which we'll dive into a little bit. No one talks about what you do when you fail, because failure is inevitable. I'm going to say that one more time for everyone listening. Failure is inevitable. I fail a lot, dude. I fail. Oh man, I fail more times than I want to admit. And it sucks. It sucks. If you're a young guy listening to this and you're like, Rob, I just failed at, I don't know, this test, or I just failed at getting this job, or I just failed at getting this girl. Dude, that's life. It happens, man. It happens. You had the guts to try. You had the guts to put yourself out there. You had the guts to attempt whatever you wanted to attempt. Hey, that's awesome. And that actually shows good things that are going to compound later on in life. But the first thing, guys, I want to talk about today is, what is failure? What is failure? And when you do fail, how do you kind of respond and react? So I'm going to give you guys a quick little story of a time I failed recently and how I kind of learned to, grow from it. I'm considered one of the best trainers in Bucks County through Bucks County Magazine, which is awesome. And I had a client about 2 months ago who I was just training with for a while, and they were very consistent or whatever. And I always pride myself on preparation, on being the best version of myself, and putting myself out there to lead people and to take charge. And unfortunately, this one person I was training at the time, it just wasn't working out. He wasn't really liking what I was offering him, and I would always, recalibrate and try to fix things and all this stuff or whatever. And one day he goes, "Yo, Rob, listen, you're a great trainer, but I just can't work with you anymore." And I'm like, "Dude, totally fine." Little did he know that was the first time a client had ever said, "Hey, I just don't want to use your service." And I was like, for the week, I was mentally, so mentally upset with myself. I'm like, what did I not do? So then I reflected. I'm like, okay, I studied. I made sure I listened to his goals. I was consistent. I programmed properly. I did all these things right. I can't think of one thing I did wrong. And then it hit me. Sometimes you guys can be so prepared for something. You can be so ready for something. So just ready to succeed that things end up not going your way and you actually end up failing. It happens all the time in sports. I'm sure someone's listening to this who's been prepared for like a sports game, right? You're ready to roll. You're ready to have one of the best games of your life, and you just end up sucking the whole entire game. You don't play well, or you study for an exam and you bomb the exam. I'm sure that's happened to multiple people listening to this. Failure is a part of life. That's going to happen inevitably. I mean, there's so many times. So recently where I've failed and just have done miserably, and I'm like, oh, like how did this happen? It's frustrating, but it's also beautiful. And people are like, what do you mean by beautiful? When you fail, you start to grow. And the reason why I say you start to grow is because when you fail and when you end up saying, okay, this relationship, this job, this whatever didn't work out, you forces you, and it should force you. So if you don't know this lesson, make sure you're listening. It forces you to reflect and it forces you to understand why those things happened. There's plenty of times in my life where I've been so ready for something and I still fail, and I get so mad because I'm like, I should not have failed at this. I'm like, I did everything right. I was there. I was working hard. I was taking care of things. Blah 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 blah. Sometimes that's not enough, and sometimes it just ends up failing anyway, and that's okay. That's okay. That's why it's important, guys. When you fail, you say, okay, I failed, roger that. I get it. I failed, roger that. I'm now going to do the things to understand and to grow from that. So when that client walked out at me, what did I do? I could have moped and sulked and cried and be like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. Like I'm the worst trainer ever. Or what you should do when you fail is, how I said a minute ago, you reflect. What did I do well? What did I do poorly? What can I improve on? Okay, got it, roger that. And then you move on from it. It goes the same thing for not only business, but let's say also relationships too. I was having a good talk today with one of my buddies at the gym, really good guy, and he went to my high school, and we were talking a lot about not only having good guy friends and having girlfriends and doing all that thing, but there's times, guys, in your life where you're going to be with, let's say, a significant other, right? And it looks like everything's going well, it looks like it's working out, and then all of a sudden, in a second, done, over, and you're probably just like, why did that happen? How did that happen? How did we get to this point? And it goes back to the same exact thing. Sometimes these failures or these obstacles, if you will, are not only happening against you, it's actually happening for you because it's pushing you into growth. A great example of that, guys, is when I was with one of my a really good buddy of mine, really good buddy of mine, love him to death. He does a lot of things that I don't like to do. He does a lot of things that I don't maybe indulge in, you know what I mean? And you guys can use your imagination with what I'm saying here. But he does a lot of things that I'm just like, I'm not the biggest fan of that, so I'm not going to do it. So I choose to isolate myself from those activities. So that obviously causes a divide. And recently we've been very divided. He's on one side of the spectrum doing something, I'm on this side of the spectrum doing something. And we're inevitably just growing apart. And it's painful. He would call me up sometimes, being very upset, being like, hey man, I invited you to come here and you're not here. Or I invited you to meet this person, you didn't meet this person. I invited you to do this and do that, and you didn't show up. And sometimes you have to kind of sit there and be like, dude, I love you as a brother, man. You're one of my best friends, but I can't not be that person. I can't be that person that's going out there and doing all these things because I'm so focused on my business. That's my purpose, is my business. And if anything gets in the way of my business, unfortunately, it usually takes the back burner. Some of you guys may be like, oh, that's great, that's awesome. Some of you guys be like, oh, you're prioritizing your business over everybody else. Not necessarily. I'm prioritizing my purpose. And for us, because this is targeted for young men, you young men out there who have not found a purpose yet, when you do, you will understand. And for the men out there who have a purpose and who have a drive, you're gonna be like, I know exactly what he's talking about. Because if you are so driven towards one singular goal, mine is growth. So if you're so driven towards growth and that one singular goal of growing every single day, do you really think the same people in your life right now will be there in the next 5 to 10 years? Probably not. And the reason why I say that is because I'm going to see this one of these millionaires that I work with. When you are doing the things that others are not doing, people start to resent you because it's almost like giving somebody a mirror and putting it in front of them and saying, look what I'm doing. Why aren't you doing this? And people get very insecure and they don't like that. In my experience, it happens with my really good guy friends and also with some significant others. I've had plenty of significant others in my life, great people, awesome people, but things just don't work out because almost every month I'm growing. Almost every month I'm changing. Almost every month I'm picking up a new habit. And that's because I'm on that 23-year-old incubator phase where I'm going. A lot of people are like, whoa, this is a lot for me to handle because I really don't know who I am yet. So I'm going to get out of here and let you focus on what you're doing in terms of your path. It may suck for some of you young men to hear that, but basically growth comes through failure and growth comes through losing. And I'm sorry for the young men out there that are like, oh, really? Like, that's legitimately the goal. It's almost like when I was a pretty big football player in high school. I was really, really into my sport. And there were times where we would play these games and we would lose. We weren't the best team in the world. We would lose a lot of games, man. But I tell you what, with the games that we lost, I learned so freaking much about myself as an athlete and how much hell I was able to withstand just to have the hope to win a game. And I'm trying to share this with you guys because when you're so driven towards a goal or a purpose or whatever it is in life and you fail, it's really important to, again, react and not react, but to reflect and then react on that reflection. So the summary of today's video, guys, is this. Failure is going to be inevitable. It's how you respond which determines your character. And please understand the biggest component about this video is this. The test of you guys as young men is not your wins. Again, the testament to you as a young man, your character is not revealed when you win. Because winning seasons are easy. I can win and succeed in relationships and in business and be a happy camper the rest of my life. That's not life. When you're losing, you are growing. And when you're winning, you're still growing, but you're just appreciating that winning season through the work. The last quick thing I want to talk about for a minute, and I'll get on out of here because I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing my fast speech here. When you're done, when you fail, and you reflect and you learn, there's this beautiful word that I love to use, growth. Probably one of my favorite words ever. And in my short 23 years, this year in 2024, it means more than ever. When you fail and you learn and you're on the period of growth, you're going to reflect and really understand why things didn't work out that way. And it's hard to see when you're in that failure period. But I'm telling you, if you have an open mind and you accept things how they are, don't wish for events to happen how you wanted them to happen. Say, this event happened, I failed in this way, or I lost this person, or I lost this job, or I lost this thing. Once you accept it and say, okay, I cannot change it, I'm now going to learn from it, that's where the growth comes into play. And that can happen in any season when you want to grow. When you want to grow and get better and learn and be the best version of yourself, those things will happen. I mean, in terms of failure. And then you guys will grow from those failures and you look back a year or two from now and be like, man, I thought I was in like a living hell when that failure happened. But in reality, it made me the man I am today. But yeah, guys, that's about all I have for you guys today. I really hope this video just touches somebody. I mean, my last video I had like 7 views, and I could really care less. I just want to be on here helping you guys out and motivating any young man between the ages, 15 to 23. If you're older, younger, welcome. But mainly for my young men out there, man, because it's hard. It's hard. There's so much stuff out there, guys, that we can learn and talk about. But I hope you all have a great week and a great Sunday. And I'll hopefully be back in the next week here to talk about our next topics here, guys. But again, just trying to deal with that failure and growing from that failure. Failure is the most important thing, guys. And if you guys have any suggestions or ideas, comment down below. If not, I have a whole list of things I'm going to talk about through my experience, my wisdom. But yeah, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, have a great Sunday, and peace.